What's up, Bargain family? So today I'm going to be sharing some Halloween DIYs that have a high-end decor look but at a fraction of the cost. Also, make sure you follow me on TikTok because I'm uploading DIYs there with body paint on. And let me know what the weather is like outside where you live. Right now it's 78 degrees in Chicago, so though it looks like it's fall because of the decor behind me, it definitely isn't. Anyhow, let's begin the video.
For this project, you're going to need a cauldron. I got this one from Target. It's a big cauldron. I'll link it down below for you guys, as well as everything else that I used that is a main piece that I bought from like Target or Walmart in this video. So I dummy up my cauldron with some old towels. Next up, I'm going to place some of these LED color changing light pucks from Dollar Tree inside of the cauldron, and then I'm going to take some plastic wrap. I'm going to cut pieces off and then just roll it together to create just small pieces that I'm going to stack on top of each other inside of the cauldron. What this does is it creates this look as if there's some type of liquid inside of the cauldron. With just the plastic wrap, it still has a pretty neat look. So you can just keep it at plastic wrap if you want to keep the cost of your DIY lower. However, I'm going to be using some glass ornaments that I got from Hobby Lobby. Now I glue some of the ornaments to the edge of the cauldron, but not entirely in the inside. Into the inside, I'm just placing clusters of ornaments that I glued together. You don't want to glue all of them together because if you do that, you won't be able to change the batteries inside of your lights, and it's going to make it really hard to store this. Now I got some ribbon. I'm going to tie it around the cauldron and then glue a bow to the front of that. Then you can glue ornaments to the side of your cauldron. I used large and small ornaments that I found at Hobby Lobby. You can find them other places than Hobby Lobby, but right now they're half off over there, and they have two different kinds, a clear kind and an iridescent one, which is the one I'm using. Finally, I got some fairy lights. These are remote controlled, which is nice because you just press the on button. You don't have to go to the battery pack and press on. These are from Amazon. I'll link them down below for you guys again, and I wanted to do these because these flash. Though it looks like the LED lights are flashing, they aren't. That's my camera doing that. I really like the way this DIY bubble cauldron came out. I think it's so fun and it's really easy to do. Here's how you can recreate those very famous Pottery Barn terracotta pumpkins that retail for well over $100. Go to the store and pick up some plastic jack-o'-lanterns. These relatively are around $25 and under. These are from Walmart. These ones are from Dollar Tree. The ones I'm using are from Target. The larger ones are $20. The small ones are $10. Now you're going to need a terracotta colored paint. I got this spray paint from Home Depot from the brand Bear, and it's just called terracotta. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to spray my pumpkins using this spray paint. It is the perfect color. It is a terracotta color. Now to give this the texture of terracotta clay, I'm going to be using baking soda and an acrylic terracotta colored paint. You can also use a chalk paint. You just pour a bunch of baking soda on top of the paint and mix it till you get a chalky consistency, and then you just paint over your pumpkins using this paint. Now you don't have to necessarily spray paint the pumpkins. You could just use a bunch of acrylic paint if you want to. It's just more time consuming. While the paint is still damp, you're going to pour the baking soda onto your pumpkins and then use a powder brush to blend it out onto the pumpkin, really helping it have that Pottery Barn terracotta jack-o'-lantern appearance. If you pour the powder onto paint that is dried, it's just gonna fall right off, so you want it to be slightly wet. This DIY is so easy to do because it just involves painting really, and just painting a solid color. That ghost you guys see, I know I'm gonna get questions about it. I got it from Menards, but I cannot find it on the website. I'll link the other ones though they have on the website for you guys down below. This is how they look outside. I put them on some little straw bales that I got from Walmart. I love the way that these turned out, and they cost me under $100 versus one from Pottery Barn that would cost me $100. Pottery Barn has these light up ghosts. They're $99. Now they come in two different sizes, one that is just under 3 feet and one that is just over 1 foot. What if I told you you can make 3 taller ones for well under $100? You're going to need tomato cages for this project. I got all of mine from Menards. The tallest one was about $5 and the two smaller ones were around $3. I'm going to share with you guys two different ways of making this. Now there's a very popular way of making this, which is just by using a styrofoam ball as the head. However, styrofoam balls are expensive. This 10-inch one was $11.99. The 5-inch one was $4.99. It's still cheaper to buy these and DIY the Pottery Barn ghost ghosts, then buy them from Pottery Barn. However, I found a cheaper way of making them. But first, I'm going to share with you guys this way. You just push the styrofoam balls through your tomato cages. Then you'll need some white string lights. The only lights I could find were at home stores right now. You can also order them offline. It's just the only place that had the string lights when I was looking for them. So what I'm going to do is I am going to use zip ties to attach the string lights to my tomato cages. You'll need some fabric for this DIY. I got this white chiffon fabric from Hobby Lobby, 40% off. It was $3.59. So on this one, I was using 2 yards. It was enough to cover the front and back, but the sides were just a little short. Then I got a black piece of craft foam for 99 cents. I traced out some ghost eyes onto the craft foam and cut that out. I then glued those to the front of my ghost. That's the first option, but a much cheaper option is just to go to a store right now that sells these hanging ghosts. I found these for $11.99 at home stores. Walmart carries these for around the same price. So does Michael's. Right there, you have the styrofoam that you need to push it into the tomato cage. You already have the fabric and you already have the eyes. I removed the mouth off of my ghost. Then I went ahead and pushed the styrofoam into the tomato cages. Now, it's not a round ball like the other one. It's a more flat styrofoam. So once you push it through, make sure you use some hot glue to make it stay in place. These ghosts do have arms. I didn't want them there, so I went ahead and used a wire cutter to cut through the wire, removing them. The fabric was a little too long on some of my ghosts, so I went ahead and I trimmed that up. I used 2 of the at-home ghosts, and those ghosts have one big eye and one smaller eye. I removed both of the eyes off my ghost and took the smaller eyes and glued them to one of the ghosts, and took the larger eyes and glued them to the other ghost, just so both eyes were the same size on each ghost. This is how the ghosts turned out. They are much larger than the Pottery Barn ghosts. They're beautiful, you guys. I have a friend who's not very impressed by much that I do, but she actually loves these ghosts, so I knew they were good because she liked them. The larger ghost with the styrofoam ball as its head cost me under $31 to make, and the 2 smaller ghosts cost me under $20 each to make. This is one of my favorite DIYs in this video. I got a skeleton head and 2 skeleton hands from Dollar Tree. Now I'm gonna paint them because I don't really like the color of them, especially of the hands, and I want them all to be one color. The skeleton head and the hands are 2 different colors, so I just went in with a bone color that I just painted all over the hands and the head, and then I used brown to kind of detail the bone a little bit more and to give it more of a bone-like look to it, because bone is not just one color, there's different tones to it. For this project, you'll need a mirror. I got this one for $10 from Five Below. I didn't like the yellow color of the frame, so I went in with rub-on paint in antique gold. I really like this paint. You're going to see me use it a lot in this video. Now I'm going to glue the skeleton head and the hands to the mirror. So first I glue the skeleton head and then I glue the hands. One of the hands, the palm of it is touching the mirror, and then the fingertips are glued to the skeleton head. And then the second hand, I cut the palm off of it so it's just the fingers, and I glue that to the mirror. Then I got this web from Dollar Tree. I'm going to wrap it around one of the hands and then cut off any excess web that I do not need. Finally, I got these mini skulls from Dollar Tree. I'm going to glue 3 of them to the top of my picture frame and paint over them with that rub-on gold color to make it blend in with the rest of the picture frame. And that's how I created this skeleton that's popping out of a mirror. I love this thing so much. It has such a beautiful antique look to it, and I think that it looks high-end at the same time. I really like the way that this one turned out. It was so easy to do and inexpensive to make. Now about some of the decor you see in the background. The skeleton head I got from At Home for $40. When something passes by it, it lights up and it talks. I really like that head. Then the candle holder you see that is shaped like a snake, that is from Target. I got it for $10. And then the books, they're animated. When something passes by them, they move, or you can put them on the on switch where you just press the button and they move. This cost me $20. I got it from the store Pop Shelf. I'll link it down below for you guys. However, Pop Shelf is isn't everywhere. So if you can't find it at Pop Shelf, Walmart has something very similar for $20. I'll also link down below for you. If you want to use just Dollar Tree products to create something similar to what we just made, you can get a skeleton from Dollar Tree as well as this framed image for $3 in the plus section. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my skeleton and I'm just going to cut the bottom portion off of it. Now I take a black paint sponge, I rip it into pieces, and I use a few of those pieces to lift the skeleton up to keep its back from touching the back of the image. So I just glue those pieces of foam down and then glue down the skeleton, making sure I put a lot of glue at the bottom to hold it into place. While the glue dries, I just put something behind the head of the skeleton to keep it upright. I use the same gold paint I've been using to paint the frame gold. Then I take some black paint, pour it on top of the image, and paint the image all black. Once I've done that, I'm going to take some white paint and stipple the white paint on top of the black. This is going to make it look a little bit like smoke. I want it to look like the skeleton is coming out of smoke. That's the easiest way I personally know how to do it. Then I take a thin paintbrush and just paint small little lines with white paint, try to make it look more like smoke. I can't say that I did a perfect job doing this, but hey, I tried. I wanted the hands of the skeleton to be popping out more, so I had to cut off where the elbow to the hand is and then glue that back on to get it to look the way I wanted to, because this skeleton is not posable. That's how I made this skeleton popping out of a Dollar Tree picture frame, similar to the one I just made, except this is not a mirror and there's more of a full body on the skeleton versus the other one. For this project, you could pick up these domes from Dollar Tree. You can also find ghosts there that work well for this project, and sometimes they have fairy garden miniatures for Halloween. I couldn't find those, so instead I'm using ones that I found at Target for $1 to $3, and these are much nicer than the stuff that Dollar Tree carries. We're gonna be making ghosts in a dome. It is so easy to do. Basically, you take your miniatures and you glue them to the bottom of your dome piece, making sure that they're inside of it enough that the lid, when it goes back on there, it can close around whatever you glue inside of there. So you can see these pieces that I glued in from Target, and then I did add some moss that I got from Dollar Tree. I'm going to throw a set of fairy lights I got inside of there. These are from Amazon. Again, everything that I'm using will be linked down below for you guys to check out. I made another dome with just one of the Dollar Tree ghosts. The one that doesn't have a mouth is the one that fits inside of the dome. The one that has a mouth does not fit inside of these domes. How precious are these? And they will look so nice inside of a tier tray if you make a bunch of little ones of these, or even if you have one of those Halloween towns with a bunch of miniatures, this would look amazing. I really wanted to make a bigger dome, so I ended up getting this wood round for $3 from Dollar Tree, and then this bell cloche for $1.25 from Dollar Tree. I had my husband stain the wood round with this Varathane stain in Early American, and this time around I'm just using this ghost that I got from Dollar Tree. I did put some black cardboard in the back of it because I wanted it to be black behind its eyes and mouth. Almost everything I put on top of this wood round, I glued it except for the lamppost and trees that I got from the Bullseye Playground. The reason being, they light up, so you have to turn them on and off, so if I glued them down I wouldn't be able to turn them on and off. But everything else I glued down because this is such a big piece. When you move it around, you don't want everything moving with it. Beside the ghost and the moss I use on this one, everything else is from the Bullseye Playground. It was all $1 except for the trees and light posts, which are $3 each, and then that bridge with the little sidewalk, that was $3 together. Once everything was glued down, I placed the cloche on top of everything, and then I decided to glue a wood ball to the top of the cloche and stain it with that Varathane stain. I am obsessed with how these pieces came out. They look so high end, and what's nice is you can switch things around if you want to change it out year to year. Say one year you have a pastel themed Halloween, you can still use the cloche but put more pastel things inside of it. I love the way these turned out. I love them, love them, love them. I found these decorative corners at Hobby Lobby. 4 count is just 99 cents. And I ended up getting these to create stands for the bottom of the domes, and it looks so much nicer doing it this way. All you have to do is bend them around and then glue them to the bottom of your domes. And I just like the way it looks. It gives it a more antique feel. And if you're wondering about those other ghosts you see, I made those using Model Magic. I plan on uploading a tutorial for those on both my Instagram and TikTok, which you can find them both just by searching Bargain Bethany and following me there. Side note, I found this felt ghost at Walmart that I think is so cute. I stuck that in the dome I made. I love it. This is a project I've seen all over social media this year and last year. What you want to do is get a big glass jar and some PEEPS. This glass jar I got for $10 from Target. You're going to place something in the inside of there. I just used a Dollar Tree vase and then start to put the PEEPS around whatever you placed in the inside. So basically you're just dumbing up the middle. I'm using this as just decor, so I was not afraid to touch this with the face paint that was on my hands. If you plan on eating this, just don't touch it with face paint on your hands. I doubt you guys will be doing this with face paint. I'm using the ghost and jack-o'-lantern PEEPS. There's also a Frankenstein PEEP, and if you can't find them at Dollar Tree, they sell them at Target for $1.29. Inside of the vase that's in the middle of this jar, I placed in some fairy lights so that it glows from the inside. I then took some orange ribbon and I just tied it around the glass, making a little bow. I decided to place this on top of this piece I'll share with you guys in a few that I made using Dollar Tree products. It's such an easy DIY to do, and if you're somebody who's not too into Halloween decor, this is a simple thing that you can do to just decorate enough. For our next project, you're going to need an LED shadow projector. You can find these at Dollar Tree, at Target. You're also going to need a light fixture globe. I got mine at Menards for $8.99. It's not the one you see here. The one there, it had some patterns on it. Basically, you're going to place your globe on top of the LED projector, and the image from the LED projector is going to bounce inside of that globe versus your ceiling. So we're going to use this to make a crystal ball. For the bottom of my crystal ball, I'm using this tree skirt that I got from Dollar Tree. I decided I wanted to do some designs on the bottom of it, so I just used my hot glue gun to do this. Now this DIY is inspired by Monica on TikTok. I don't know if she's the original creator, but that's who I saw do it and who inspired me to do this. Once I have my designs glued down and the glue has completely dried, I then can paint over it. So I'm using Rub and Buff paint in antique gold. I really like this paint, as you guys can tell. I just painted all over that, and then I went in with a black paint that I just stippled on. The tree skirt doesn't hit the bottom of the globe the way I wanted to, so I just went ahead and glued the tree skirt to the globe. I use hot glue to do this, so it's easy to knock off. I just have to be really gentle with this, and at the end of the season I will have to take it off and re-glue it on next season. This is an easy DIY crystal ball of sorts. Like I said, the globe keeps that image contained, because without the globe, what happens is the image just bounces on your ceiling. It doesn't stay inside of there. So this is a really easy way to make a crystal ball. I've done crystal balls in the past before with images bouncing off of it, and it was not as easy as this. This project is insanely cool. You need a shower curtain and a projector. I got this one from Amazon for $45. This one is out of stock now, but I found one I will link down below for you guys. That's $47.99 if you use the 20% off coupon it has right now. It also has 4.5 stars on Amazon with over 26,000 reviews. You're going to hang your shower curtain up near a window. I have command strips there, so that's how I was able to hang mine. Take scissors and cut off any excess shower curtain you do not need. That's it. That's literally it. You're just going to project whatever you want to the shower curtain, and that image is going to show outside of your home. So I just went to YouTube and I typed in Halloween projector videos, and a bunch of videos pop up, and you can see it is so cool, you guys. It is so freaking cool. So easy to do, and you just need 2 products. Simple as that. I recently made a moving eye spell book that involves using a phone. A lot of you guys were saying you didn't want to use your phones and didn't have old phones to put inside of the book. So instead, here's a spell book that is not involving your phone, but instead this animated doorbell you can purchase at Target online for $15. Again, the link will be in my description box. You'll also need a larger book for this DIY. I just went to Goodwill and found one that works. I purchased this faux leather from Dollar Tree. I'm going to take it and place it on the front of the book, trace around the front, and then cut it down. I then glue that piece to the book. Then I take that piece I cut out, place my doorbell on top of it, trace around the doorbell, and then cut out the part that I traced. And the reason I'm doing this is because I don't want to glue the doorbell directly to the leather. If I do that, when I have to change the batteries to the doorbell, I'm going to end up removing the leather off with it, and it's going to be a big mess. So after I've got the leather all cut out, I go ahead and glue that to my book. Now the funnest part of this DIY is going in with your glue gun and using it to create designs on the book. So I did some spider webs, I created some lettering on the front that says spells, I did a little book binder that was more detailed. This is really easy to do using your glue gun, and it adds just the nicest texture to this. Once the glue is all dried, you can then paint over it. I'm using a silver color that I'm just stippling all over the book, and then I went in with a little bit of a gold paint and then some white paint to really bring out some of the areas that I wanted highlighted. I also decided to glue on some spiders that I got from Amazon because I really like the way spiders look on spell books, and that's how I created an animated eye without using a phone. Now, how do you make an animated eye that constantly moves? I don't know how to do that, you guys. I'm not great with animatronics. I just know more simple ways of doing things. Nonetheless, I hope you guys enjoyed this DIY, and it's a great option if you do not want to use your phone. Let's make another Pottery Barn dupe. They sell this Lit Mr. Bones for $149. Instead, you're going to go to a different store and just buy a skeleton. I got this one at Walmart for $29.99. You're also going to need some fairy lights or string lights. I prefer fairy lights with a remote control, and I got these ones from Amazon. They have a bunch of different sellers. I'll link the ones I used down below for you guys, but like I said, there's a bunch of different sellers and you can find ones for cheaper if you're willing to wait longer for delivery. So all you're going to do is you are going to string your lights throughout the skeleton. I prefer the string lights because it's easier to string throughout my skeleton, and on top of that, it has a prettier sparkle to me versus just regular string lights. I use zip ties to attach the battery packs to the back of the skeletons so they aren't just hanging there. On my skeleton, I used 4 fairy lights total. If you use just one, you're not going to be able to string it all throughout your skeleton unless you get a fairy light that has a very long string. That's all there is to this, simple as that. Now my fairy lights I bought years ago. I think I paid around $20 for a 10 pack of the fairy lights. Now they average around $16 to $17 for a 4 pack. So this is still going to cost you under $50 to make versus $149 from Pottery Barn. Pottery Barn has this light up broom and it retails for $149 and it's out of stock right now. We're gonna DIY this. Now the easiest way to DIY this is collect a bunch of twigs around your house, but not everybody has twigs just lying around their house, especially if they live in the city. So to get around that, I'm going to be using some twine. I got 2 rolls of this twine from Hobby Lobby. It was cheaper to go to Hobby Lobby than it was to buy it at Dollar Tree. Now I'm just wrapping this around my arm. You can do the same thing with your arm. I know all of our lengths are different there, but nonetheless, it'll work. It looks more time consuming than it actually is. So once I have everything wrapped around, I take a piece of twine, I go ahead and loop it through that twine that I wrapped around and then tie it into place. That way I can cut down the center of the twine, making a bunch of small little pieces that look like a broom. I did this 2 times, so I used 2 different rolls from Hobby Lobby to do this. Now I got lucky here. Like I said, not everybody just lives near a bunch of twigs on the ground and sticks falling from the ground, especially if you live in a populated city. However, I was able to find a stick by running around the neighborhood. I was really lucky here because I was originally just going to get a broom handle from Dollar Tree and paint it to look like wood. But I feel like a real stick does a very good job of making this look more authentic. I take my twine pieces and I tie them to the stick. Now originally I had tied them at the bottom of the stick, but after I did that I realized it's better to tie them higher up so that the stick touches the ground and the twine can hang off of it, making it look like the broom is standing up on its own. Because if you tie it to the bottom, the twine just kind of falls down onto the ground and it just lays there flat. I used twine to tie the 2 twine bundles into place, and then I took a zip tie to make sure they were secure and going nowhere. Then I got nautical rope from Dollar Tree that I wrapped around and glued down to make this look more like a broom. The broom from Pottery Barn doesn't have this, but I decided to do this to my broom, and that was just create some little bows to glue to the front of the broom. I just thought that this would be a nice finishing touch. After I glued down the bow, this is when I realized that the twine pieces should have been tied higher up on the stick, so I just took the stick piece that I cut off and I used wood glue to attach it back in place, because like I said, it's better that it's using the stick to stand up on versus you trying to use the twine for it to stand up on, because it's not going to happen. To make this light up, I'm using these fairy lights that I got from Amazon. These are my favorite fairy lights because they are remote controlled, which means you don't have to go to the battery pack and turn them on by hand. You just press the on remote, and any fairy lights you have in the area that are from this same brand, they will all turn on. So I love them. They're my favorite fairy lights. They will be linked down below for you guys. That's how I made my own dupe of the Pottery Barn light up broom. The fairy light, 2 twine packs, nautical rope, and 2 ribbons I used cost me under $14. The stick was free, so this DIY was relatively cheap compared to the light up broom from Pottery Barn, and it came out so cute. Now, if you cannot find a stick, like I said, you can get a Dollar Tree broom handle and paint it to look like wood. This is how it looks during the day, and this is how it looks at night. It's so beautiful. I am obsessed with it, and I got so lucky with that stick because that stick was a really nice stick for a broom. Pottery Barn carries this candy skeleton bowl for $199. We can make something similar in the way that it looks by getting a skeleton and bowl from Dollar Tree. What you're going to do is you're going to cut off pieces of the skeleton, so the legs you're going to cut off, and then eventually the arms, and then you're going to glue that to your bowl. I recommend using a heavy duty glue like E6000, a super glue, or Gorilla Glue. I'm just using a hot glue gun because of video purposes. It just is much faster to do when you're recording. After you have everything glued together, you just want to paint this silver. I used a spray paint to do this. It's much quicker and it gives it a really nice look. The reason I said we can make something that looks like the Pottery Barn bowl is because it's not exactly a dupe. That Pottery Barn bowl is 18 inches wide, so it's a huge bowl. This looks like it, is just not exactly like it. Obviously, you don't want to put unwrapped candy inside of the bowl if you plan on eating the candy. I don't plan on eating this, so I went ahead and stuck it in the bowl because I wanted it to look very similar to the picture that's on Pottery Barn's website. I decided I wanted to make a gold one of these, so I got this gold skeleton from Target for $10. You just use screws to disattach the limbs off of it, and then I got this bowl from Goodwill. I think it is stainless steel. I used Bars Keeper to clean the inside of it because there was some rust. And then I just did the same thing. I just glued the skeleton to the bowl. So easy to do, you guys. And this one is my favorite one out of the two because I love the way that it looks. It looks more high-end to me versus the one using Dollar Tree products. I love the viral ghost painting trend right now where you go to your local thrift store and you purchase a painting that you then paint ghost on top of. So I went to Goodwill, I found this painting that I thought would be perfect to paint ghost on top of. It's so easy to paint ghost, you guys. You really just need white paint. If you have gray paint, you can use it to shade in some areas, but white paint really just does the trick. You just want to be a little bit more sheer with where you place it at the bottom of your ghost. It's really easy to do. I am not amazing at painting. I can body paint somewhat, but when it comes to actual painting, no, that's not something I'm really good at, and this was easy to do. So I just painted some ghost on. I decided to paint some bats in the sky, and though the color on some of the foliage was already fall color, I decided to go in a bit more with some oranges and stuff to really drive home the fact that this is supposed to look like fall time. I wanted the frame to be gold, so I went in with rub-on paint in antique gold and just went over the frame, creating the color that I really wanted. I love this piece. Oh my gosh, I am so glad that I did this trend because this is a piece that I will keep for years and years to come. I'll probably pass it down to my children if they want it. It is just so gorgeous, and it's something that looks so high-end. I honestly feel like if this was inside of a store, it would cost so much more than what I paid for it at Goodwill. I love this. Here's an option. You can always go to Dollar Tree and pick up some of their artwork. If you don't feel comfortable painting on artwork somebody already painted, or your thrift store doesn't have artwork that works for this DIY. I got this bathtub picture from Dollar Tree and I'm just painting a ghost inside of the bathtub. I wanted to give this artwork a frame. To do that, I just took a razor and cut around the artwork. Underneath it, there is a frame. It's just a wooden frame to hold the canvas in place. I go ahead, remove all of the canvas paper that's left over there, and then painted the frame. I just used that rub-on paint that I've been using. It doesn't work the best on this. It worked enough though. And once that was dried, I went ahead and I glued the picture to the back that has the staples, so you don't see the staples, but you see the good part of the frame. It's so easy to do this, you guys. You do not have to be an expert at painting. Ghosts are so easy to paint. And the other ghost image that you see that was painted by my cousin, we got this from the local thrift store, and she painted a ghost right over the girl, and then she made the cat a little bit more colorful. Finally, I got this black skull candy bowl from Dollar Tree. I'm just gonna glue a plate on it that I got from Target. It's a clay or ceramic material, I can't even tell. I just used hot glue to glue it to the little skull, and now it won't come off, but that's how you make a stand out of it. I used it with the PEEPS container, and here it is staged. So that's it for these Halloween DIYs. I really hope you guys enjoyed the video. It's a little bit different than I normally do because it's not just Dollar Tree products, so please let me know if you do enjoy the style at all. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Take care. Bye.